All right, who's got
Thanks.
their Illustrator workspaces set up? Everybody, right? Everybody's got it. Yeah, Shirley's got it set up. Tyra. Yeah. All right. You did your homework. It's gonna be a quiz. Pop quiz. No. All right, hold on. Let me share my screen.
I still can't get all my bits and pieces grouped together on my ornament that I've been making. I know that sounds really stupid because you got a circle, then you have the top part, and then the hole, and I can't get them to group together. So I'm hoping tonight maybe we can get something.
So they're coming over like all the separate objects. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we'll touch on I think we're gonna touch on that. That's
I have it on my screen. I don't want everybody to see what the object actually look or the thing looks like, so I got it half covered up, but I can show you where it's not matching together.
well, let's go through this and then I think maybe this first section is gonna answer your question.
I think so. By what I read about it today, I think so.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I think this first one is going to be your problem. So today we're going to go get into some advanced Illustrator features and functionality. You know, it's just more advanced than what we did last week. This isn't like pro level stuff. So don't let advanced Illustrator scare you. But like from here, we're going to start doing projects. This is like the last here are the tools type video. All of the next ones are going to be we're doing things. But I wanted to hit on groups, paths, and compound paths. There's a big difference of what these things are and how they act. And then we're going to hit the Pathfinder tool, which is great for making your compound paths and in using your compound paths and layers correctly. We're going to get into image trace. We're going to get into it tonight. Image trace can go deep. So tonight we're going to get into some simple image tracing and we're going to clean up some messy SVGs from Canva. And then I'll show you some quick plugins that you might have seen in the video, but we'll just go through them real quick to help you clean up some of this clip art and stuff that we make tonight. All right, for the first part, layers, groups, paths, and compound paths. All right, so we briefly hit the layers tab or menu last week. And if you don't have it over here in your shortcuts bar, you can go up to Windows, Windows, and then layers or F7. My F keys aren't labeled. All right, so let's make us a new layer. All right, just create a new layer. We'll hide all of this stuff and we'll draw on our new layer. Just draw a couple of squares. Let's draw a circle. We'll draw a circle. Let's go into our swatches. All right, we'll change these. We'll just give them a couple of different colors. Green. So these are all currently on the same layer, right? Over here we see layer 2. All these objects are on the same layer. And we'll just group these two. Right? Control G. We'll group these two. Now over here in the layers, it actually created like a sub layer. Now if you use a selection tool, you can grab all of these. Or if you come over here into your layers panel, you can select just the circle and now you can move it, or just the square. So it acts as like a sub layer, right? And you can hide it as a group, bring it back as a group. Now you can then grab these, all three, and we'll group them. So now it's a nested group, right? You'll see that there's a group with a single sitting inside of a group. Now, quick actions over here. To me, hitting this quick action is a whole lot easier than like I think it's Control Shift G. I mean, I guess that was pretty easy. Control Shift G, or ungroup over here in your actions. Mm -mm 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 -mm. All right, let's bring this back. Hold on. Let's hide this layer. Groups, paths, compound paths. Okay, so over here in my little toolbar here, you'll see that all these shapes that I create with my shapes tool, they all have names. They are what they are, right? They're an ellipse, rectangle. I think it'll say star if I draw a star. Yep, star. And now if I use, say, my blob brush, right? We went over the blob brush last week. I'll just draw some shape here, right? Odd shape. Now this is a path because it's not one of these shapes, it's a path. Now none of these are a compound path yet. Now what makes a compound path is it's just linking two paths. Like if I take my erase tool and I just erase the inside of this rectangle, right? It's now a compound path because technically there's a path inside of a path, right? So where this comes in handy, knowing compound paths, layers, where things sit, right? We discussed how these are like clear films and you're looking from top to bottom, looking down like the old Disney way they used to make cartoons. This works a similar way. So right now the star is on top of the rectangle. We can move that film above the star. Now the rectangle is sitting above the star. And this is going to come in handy when we start to use our Pathfinder tool to create compound paths and paths from these objects. So now that I have a star, we'll attach this star up here. So I'll select both of these guys, right? Both of these objects, and I can go to my Pathfinder tool, which if you have your Essentials Classic set up, it's over here in your quick actions. But if you don't, it's over here in your Windows tool. Where's it? Oh, I think they moved it. Oh, no, they didn't. It's right. It's still part of the alphabet Pathfinder tool. Uh, but mine is over here also. Somewhere over here. I don't know. I use it. I use the quick actions all the time. So the quick actions or the Pathfinder tool has a couple of different actions. If you use light burn, create a space, silhouette, they're all the same. They're all the same like Boolean things. It's unite, where this creates a compound shape. It's minus front, subtract, or I forget what light burn calls it. Basically, you're subtracting one from the other. This is intersects. This will cut out the shapes and leave the intersections between them. I never use that. I never use this one either, excludes. Divide, I do use when I'm making my puzzle piece backers. Trim, I never use. Merge, I never use. Crop, nope. If I'm going to use crop, I might as well just use a mask. And we'll go over masks in next class. All right, so let's just see what these work like. We'll unite them first. And you'll notice that it will take on the characteristics of the top layer. So whatever's on the top layer, that's what it's going to end up looking like. So even if I give this a stroke, all right, we'll give this a blue stroke. Let's bring this red circle in here. I'll just grab all of these and I'll unite them. They're going to all take on the properties of the top layer. Now subtract works in pretty much opposite. The top layer is going to take out everything below it or whatever's selected below it. Whatever's on bottom, I should say. So if I select both of these, the libraries get open. If I select both of these and I'll go to minus front, it's going to cut my circle. Let's bring it back. Now, I don't think the stroke actually matters when I do a cut. Let's bring this over top of the rectangle. I'm going to grab the rectangle and the star, and we'll say minus front. And it does not care if there's a stroke on it when you do a minus front. So just like your laser, yeah, that stroke isn't a real stroke. It's like just there for visuals. It's not really part of the math. Now, if I select multiple objects, let's put this on the bottom. If I select all these objects, it's going to subtract everything from the bottom one that I have selected. So this is a great tool for things like I have a backer, right? And let's make this we're doing real world example right here. We'll make this green. I will make it white. This is my snow, right? I got me some snow. Let's make it off-white so I can see it. We'll turn it sideways. It's my snowdrift, right? On my backer here. But my snowdrift, I have it where I want it, but it's all hanging off over here. So I can take my box, I'll put my box over everything. Gonna make sure my box is out front. I can't see my backer, but I can grab my backer over here. And if I select this little activation circle, it will activate it. I can say copy, Control C, Control Shift V will paste it right back in place, but it's the top layer. I can grab that and that little box that I just drew, come over to my Pathfinder tool, minus front, right? Now I can see that it's framed off. It's the exact size of my backer. I grab my snowdrift and my box that I just drew, minus front. And now I have a snowdrift. Let's hide this. Let's see where we're at. Compound paths. Yep, I worked right into Pathfinder tool, layers. I'm going to take a break for a second. And right here, I'm going to ask, are there any questions about how layers, Pathfinder tool, or what a compound path is? Shirley, so I think your problem is your objects weren't a compound path. So it sounds like you need to drag that hole above that other layer and do a minus front.
Can I just show you my screen so
Sure.
that you can see what I'm referring to?
Yep.
If if you look, I don't know if you can
Oh,
see
like,
that or not.
um,
See, I'm trying to make an ornament and I have the part that's red is what the bottom part is. That's all one piece. But when I put the blue, I have it in different colors up here so you can see that I can't join these to get all one color or all one piece. And I wanted to do a print and cut, and I want to make lots of these. And when I move them around, then the pieces kind of fall apart, even when they're, quote, grouped. Does that make sense?
so yeah.
But see, I had a basic shape down below. Let's just call it a circle, which it's not, but I had
Yeah.
a basic shape down below, and then I wanted to add a ornament top to it.
Uh-huh.
And
Are they touching?
they're all touching.
So I can't really see much. I can't see what's happening
I was
here.
gonna, I was gonna say, can you share your screen versus turn your camera towards it?
Well, I'm
She doesn't want to show.
I don't want to
Oh,
share
gotcha.
what
I
the
gotcha. I
item is.
gotcha.
So that's why I've got the camera. You can't see it with the camera.
Nah, it's super blurry. I think you're too close.
Oh, wait a second here. Um,
Mhm.
how about if I don't blur the background?
Oh yeah, there. Oh yeah, I see it.
Oh,
Oh,
100% better.
yeah, did you make that? All right. So here's all right. So that was actually going to be towards the end of the class, but I'll just show you right now, super quick. Right? Here's what's happening. You drew those lines, right? You didn't use objects, you actually just drew some lines. Let me share my screen again. That's an easy fix. That was, hold on, let me check my syllabus here. Let me hide this. Oh, yep, that was down here in image trace and cleaning up messy SVGs. All
Well,
right, let's,
I can wait till the end of the class and see if I can correct it that way.
well now let's address that real quick, right? It's an easy fix,
Uh-huh.
right? And I see what's happening now. Here's why you can't do it. And I'm sure they won't fill. They'll look filled, right? Because here's what sucks about here's what sucks about Illustrator, right? I just deleted that side. This side doesn't exist, right? If I go, I think it's Control Y, it'll bring all the paths in, the actual paths, and it doesn't exist. So Control Y will bring it back. Now you guys want to see something cool? If I grab these and I say copy and I go to Lightburn, I can say paste. Right. So I don't need to save and make an SVG. But you see what they look like, right? Now if I set these all to engrave, fill, let's preview. Mm. See, it tells me I got an open path. Now there's a few ways to close an open path. This big a path, it's hard to do inside Lightburn. But here, well, here you got a different problem. Let me lose the fill. Let me give it a stroke color, red. I'm gonna copy paste. I made a copy of this one. We'll back it up. Yours are actually sitting like this, right? They're not actually closed. They're not actually completing the thing. So you can just grab both of these things, right? Use your direct select tool, grab like this part, right, where you want them to touch and go Control J. Come down to the other side, grab them, Control J. Boop. Now I got, and you should know if it took, because again, it's going to take on the properties of the line above it. So now I have a, if I want to make sure this is cut out and joined, I'll cut, Control Shift V, paste it right back in, grab these guys, grab these guys, minus front. I'm going to give it some color so we'll actually see what it looks like. Yeah, there you go. Compound path. So sometimes you'll see like, oh, and if I don't like this compound path or I need to change it, or, you know, I decided after I made something that these holes were too small. And instead of trying to come in and grab these holes with your direct select tool or something, sometimes it's just easier to go ahead and release them all back into their own separate paths. And so now they're all their separate things again. And we can make them bigger. Boop. Boop. Grab them all again and put the holes back in.
Question.
Yep, let's hear it.
How did you know before you took the fill away that that one side was missing?
Oh, because I deleted it, I knew it was missing. So you're able to delete lines and things with your direct select tool. So if I grab an anchor point with my direct select tool and hit delete, it'll delete everything connected to that anchor point. Or I can grab a line and hit delete. But you notice the saves filled. And oh, and I can grab just this box and move it.
Both anchor point to anchor point that you can do the modifications, kind of like cut in some aspects.
Oh, what is it? The knife tool? I don't use the
I'm
knife.
just thinking of the cut tool in Lightburn and or in Creative Space where you can go in between the two anchor points or the path itself and clear out if you're trying to get rid of some noise or something that's in there.
Oh, yep, we'll hit that here. Let's do that right
Yeah,
now.
I figured it was further down the line. I just
Mhm.
using it
Yeah,
as a
let's go ahead.
reference in my brain how it worked.
I was gonna do some image tracing. So let's make a new layer. All right, here we go. So we're gonna do some image tracing. Let's hide these, keep this layer 3 open. Let's go out to Google and do some pirating. Mhm. Now, this is going to be an easy one. I could just do a silhouette, but I had a Superman I saw that I was like, oh, I'm going to use that for the class. Now I lost it. Here, we'll do these guys. So I'll grab those. Did they come over? Yeah, here they are. Open with, oh, that's a horrible one. Stop. All right, these all, it's easier to do with a JPEG like these AVIF and WebP. They suck. But oh, here, let's just do this real quick. We'll open in a new image, open image, a new tab. I'm just gonna grab it with my snipping tool. We'll grab this old gal. Now, my snipping tool came right here. Just gonna copy, paste. She came in pretty big. Now, without having the image selected, I'm gonna open up my path for my image trace tool. If it's not on your bar over here, it's under Window, Image Trace, alphabetical order. Now that it's open, I'm going to click on my image. And I'm just going to do a quick count to see how many colors I have in here. It looks like black came in. So 1, 2, this is a different color. So that's 3, 4. So I'm going to start with the defaults of 3. And then I'm just going to crank it up to 4. Now, if I hold Alt, I can scroll in and look at the corners and stuff. corners are looking a little iffy, so I'll mess with the noise, bring the noise down a little bit. So the noise does is it kind of blurs those pixels. It's trying to convert pixels to math. So right now it's giving you a leeway of like 15 pixels. I was just going to try to bring it down. I like to try to get it down to 1, but sometimes it gets wonky. Now my corners still aren't looking great up here. It could be the image, but the next thing I'll do is come in and mess with my corners. I'll just drag them up. Should tighten up my corners a little bit. This corner got pretty tight. Everything's looking pretty crisp. We'll zoom out. Now I don't want this black to show up, so I can ignore a color. Now it's default to ignore to white, but I want to bring white back, so I'll use my dropper tool and pick black. So we'll ignore black. It's looking pretty good. Not bad for a quick internet thieving. And we can expand it and then ungroup. I don't want any of this gray color, so I'll select this gray, select, same appearance, delete, and let's get rid of any evidence. Now I can get rid of this white in here if I want to do like an engrave, but we'll keep it for now because I can grab it, select, same appearance, and we'll say Control G. Let's jump over to my layers. So I can hide the white, bring the white back. We'll just group all of these. So I just have 2 groups inside 1 layer. Nice and easy. Let's grab this white layer and make it something we can see. So like now the hair is getting a little wonky. This is where I'll come in with like my pen tool or P. So V is your selection tool. P is your pen tool. If I hit my control key, I can select this path. Now I can start to take out some of these wonky little things in here. I can grab the line and pull the line in, but it moves on a pivot, Control Z. I can grab a handle, drag the handle in, just some tweaks. And then sometimes you'll get a lot of paths and some rando paths, like there's some, and anchors, like up here, there's some anchors, but I've seen some really bad image traces where there'll be like 50 anchor points across the top or nodes. And that's when you get the jerkiness with your laser where it's trying to go around a circle and it's hitting every one of those little nodes. There's a couple of things you can do with those. Just grab your path, use your selection tool, go to Object, come down, and you can go Simplify Path. So if I simplify my path, I'll just let it do the math for me and then click off. And if I click on again and I hold down Control, right, with it selected and I hit Control, it'll show me the anchor points. So you see it took out those 4 anchor points, made them 1 at the top, kind of cleaned up some of these little things here. I'll hit undo. We can see if it got wonky. Change the shape in here a little bit. Whoops. So you could always do simplify and just not lose so many. But then I also have times where like I do an image trace and I get a crazy circle where I'm trying to get circles instead it's all wonky and stuff. You can grab your path, you go up to Object, Path, and then it goes Smooth. And you can drag this little slider here and I'll smooth out paths. And again, sometimes when I have a circle and it's got that jagged edge, I'll do a simplify and then I'll come in and I'll do a smooth. and as I go, you'll see how far it will smooth it. I'll leave it here for a second, just so we can hit our control key and see where my spots are. I have a lot less anchor points now. Control Z, put it back. That's like I can get super deep into image trace. Um, an easier way to do a lot of control Z's, if you have your history panel up, just know where you're at on your history panel. Learn how to read your actions. And we can come back to when it's a real image again. It's just a click. I mean, you can get super deep with the image trace tool. There's all these presets and then all of these in here. Start with the lowest amount of colors you can. Slowly increment up until it looks like you've captured all the colors that you need, and then start to play with the advanced features. That's my advice for using the image trace tool. So we did spotting problems like open paths, right? We did that. Let's jump over to Canva and we'll see. I'm still sharing, right? See what happens when we download some Canva stuff. So I have some candy canes. I start with a lot of Canva clip art, but I usually modify the clip art. So it's usually not what it starts off in here. But what I do like to do in Canva when I'm starting out looking for things, I'll collect a bunch of these. And what I'm looking for is I want SVGs. I don't, even though I'm in here with graphics, it'll still give me pictures. It'll give me PNGs that are embedded or just have a clipping mask on them to hide some stuff, but otherwise it's a PNG. So what you're really looking for is you're looking for something that just says edit and it'll give you the colors, right? So this one looks complex, but it gives me all of the colors, all right? If I see BG remove up here in my little panel, no go. BG removes means it's probably a PNG or a JPEG that's in here. So this is also a BG remove. Even though it gives me the colors there, I see BG remove and I know that it's going to be an image. Now I have these over here. They say edit. It doesn't say BG remove, but it also doesn't give me the colors. There's a good chance, like 90% chance that this is just a complex SVG and not an image. Same thing here. I don't see the colors, but I also don't see BG remove. BG remove sucks. You want it to either see all of the pictures or just the edit. So let's download this. Download. I download as a SVG, transparent background. I have my SVGs associated with Illustrator, so I can just double click it. So here's what it looks like inside Illustrator. Comes in grouped, we'll ungroup it. This is a picture. It's got a mask on it. This one is also a picture. It's got a mask on it. Yep, this one's a bunch of separate pieces. I can also tell over here in the layers. If I expand my layers, I see a bunch of clipping masks. And what clipping masks are, they're masks. So it's hiding portions of another color or another layer. So let's create a clipping mask real quick. All right, I'll make a, oh, back over here. So we'll make a box. We'll give it a color. Boop. Let's make this star. Use my eyedropper tool. Let's grab all of these guys and I can group them. Now I'm going to use this guy as a clipping mask. So wherever this is, will kind of act as a clipping mask. So it'll hide everything else. Over here, make clipping mask. If you don't have your quick actions open, you can go to object, clipping mask, make. So now it gives me, my little square. But this is only visual. Lightburn's not going to see it this way. Let's copy, paste. Lightburn sees it this way. It doesn't see your clipping mask. So this is just for visual stuff. This is just for maybe making pattern backers, but it's not going to translate to Lightburn or Create a Space. Both of them ignore your clipping masks. So this has a bunch of clipping masks. Now, once I bring it into Illustrator and now try to export this back out as an SVG, it's going to show all of the clipping masks. So let's drag it in here into Lightburn before I export it. All right, let's open it up. There you go. It comes over okay, right? These two are pictures, just like I thought. Let's ungroup these things. But here's the problem. Like, this has got cut lines inside cut lines, a bunch of overlapping lines. Everything overlaps. But it did ignore the clipping masks. Well, some of them. Looks like this one got deleted. So to get rid of your clipping mask, like this one's got a clipping mask on it. And if I try to change this color, it's going to change the color of the entire thing. Need some colors. So if I try to change this color, it's going to change the color of the object and the mask. So to give this thing the color that it has inside Canva, let's find this one. Now that I have it selected, it should show up as a little blue dot next to it. So if I expand it, so the color was actually this box, right? It started off as this box right here, this clipping mask. I'll give it a stroke so we can see it, right? That was the actual gray. And then they laid this piece of curve part over top of it and then clipped it out. So this thing is filled with all these clipping masks. So to change the color here, I either need to go inside this clipping mask group and actually select the object and change the color, or release the masks that are on top of this guy. Delete, and then ungroup this guy. I think this one has a bunch of masks too. It has a bunch of overlap things. Oh, it did stop there. Well, I'm just checking my syllabus, make sure I didn't miss anything. Excited to get to the next part. I just pointed out how much of a pain in the butt these things are, right? Finding the right images. Now I have to go in and delete all these clipping masks, right? So that I could color this thing the way that I want, so that I could also start to take out some of these overlaps and make this thing mine. All right, so let's also show you how clipping masks work. This one? Yep, this one has a clipping mask. If I try to subtract it from the name next to it, it's going to subtract the mask and everything. So it leaves you weird stuff. Clipping masks suck when they come from Canva. So what I did is, because I'm always using Canva clipart and I'm always taking away all of these clipping masks and I'm trying to find them. For a long time, I was just using my layers panel and I was going through and doing the release clipping masks and ungroup. But I recently wrote a script. I don't know if you saw. So I can use this script here and it'll run through and it's going to get rid of all the clipping masks, but it's going to do it in a way that it basically redraws each piece. So it will bring back the original color. So there's 42. So, oh, it didn't catch this mask. So now we're free. We're good to go. I talked about the clipping masks, how it's grouped. It's got a lot of non-SVG art in there. I showed you what it looks like in Lightburn. I mean, I guess you could get away with this stuff in Lightburn, but it's going to be really hard to modify, stretch, actually add these into a design. I don't design in Lightburn. Way easier when I can see what I think it's going to look like. All right, we talked about the bonus plugin. I'll upload the Clean Canva SVG again, or yeah, Clean Canva SVG script. But it's out there in the store. You guys get it for free. I think it's free anyway. Go grab it, especially if you download anything from Adobe Stock, Canva, Envato. All of these places put clipping masks on all of that stuff, and I use this thing every day. All right, so I do have some homework for you guys, right? I want you guys to try to do an image trace of a PNG before next week, because next week we're going to get into actually like doing image trace, making that file yours, modifying something that you just did an image trace on. We were just cleaning up an image trace. That was a simple four colored one. Next week, we're going to get into things like what happens if you're trying to do an image trace on something that has like a gradient, or maybe you did something in Chat GPT and you're trying to do an image trace, and you know how Chat GPT gives you that crazy like I don't know, that like speckled background. It almost like comic book background on the colors. We'll go through how to get rid of that, kill those, and actually get an image trace. Let's see the little thing that says there's a chat, but I don't see a chat. Oh, oh, there it is. Oh, yeah. You guys want to see what this looks like with Control Y? Ooh, let's open the original one and do a Control Y. Yeah, there you go. I just hit Control Z. So it brought back all of the clipping masks. Control Shift Z will do a redo, undo, redo. Control Y will bring the color back. Oh, you need the Superman logo? Great, do an image trace of it. Once you do an image trace of it, it's an SVG. You can cut it out. You can cut out all the pieces. I have to find it again. All right. So I gave you your homework. Do we have any questions? Did we have to circle back for anything? Everything we learned tonight, Shirley, should solve your problems with your open paths, right? Little control J will join them.
Well, I tried it.
Nah, it didn't work.
No, no, no. We're talking Shirley here, you know.
All right, Shirley, send me the file. I'll fix it. I'll send it back. I won't even look. I'll keep
Well,
one eye closed.
you can look. It's you can look, but I'd rather not everybody get to see it.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Okay. Where do you want me to send it to you?
Just send it to me at support at KNG Make It.
Okay.
Yeah, just throw my name in um
Okay.
the whatchamacallit?
Okay.
The
When you see
subject
it,
line.
you'll understand why I can't share it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is there a list of shortcuts? Yeah, I put one out there before. Will the Illustrator? Yes. Oh, yeah, Christian just answered. Will it work on Mac? I believe so. I think I wrote it in JavaScript. So I think you just got to place it in the right folder inside Illustrator. I'll show you where you put it.
Yeah,
So,
it 100% works, Garrett. I use it all the time. It's amazing.
okay. Yeah, thanks. I mean, I love that thing. I hate to pat myself on the back over that one, but it saves me
No, it's
so
like
much
legit
time.
worthy. It's legit worthy because like that just takes so much time to manually get rid of all those masks.
Yeah, I think we just deleted like 40 something masks in the time that
Yeah.
I was chit-chatting. Yeah, which would probably take me 40 minutes to delete 40 masks.
Yep. Truth.
Oh, it's in presets. That's right.
I
So,
definitely cannot wait till next week, especially for the gradient.
yeah, so next week we're gonna use some Photoshop and some Illustrator. So it's is when I
When you
have
say you're saying next week, I know this one was 2 weeks in between. Are we going to a weekly basis again?
well, no, because it butts up against. So next week I got time because I don't have a call. So we'll go next week. But then the week after that is the made it call. And then the week after that is the master it call. And then the week after that, we're back to here. And I
Gotcha.
do it now because I don't have any other time. Tuesday nights are test cut Tuesday. Thursday nights are usually last minute editing. So I gotta keep my
Yep.
Thursday nights free. Um, Friday nights
Well,
are,
good.
yeah. Friday nights, I think nobody would be here, or everybody
True.
might be here, but not focused.
True. Well, it
Well, that's
gives me a
good.
week to go back through this as it's replaying again. It's
Mm-hmm.
what I had to do with your last class, but I also had gotten a new machine, so I had to go back through and reset everything back up yet again. So
Yeah.
practice makes perfect.
Yeah. Practice makes perfect. Yeah. Got to get your 4,000 hours in.
Are you going to be doing anything on Lightburn for like trace imaging and stuff?
What was that last part? Lightburn? Yeah. We're going to do Lightburn stuff.
I'm a Lightburn guy.
Yeah. Oh, well, this week's video, I just gave you my top 30 tips in Lightburn in this week's video. Like, um, actually, it was mine and Tanner's top 30 tips because Tanner saw my list and he's like, I got some additions.